Another reason I do what I do is I see the decaying family unit in this country. Have y'all noticed that? Now, understand, I'm not throwing rocks at anybody. I understand things happen in marriages. I got one. I understand that. And kids do all kind of stuff. I got 3 of those. But y'all know that people look at marriage differently than they did 50 years ago. Y'all agree with that? Used to, when people got married, at least they were thinking when they walked down the aisle, I'm going to be married to this person the rest of my life. Now people get married with the mentality that says, I'm going to stay married to you until you make me mad, then I'm going to get me somebody else. Well, y'all know that's true. Now, I got to tell y'all, President Clinton didn't help us a whole lot with that a few years ago. I know y'all heard the story when he got out of office. President Clinton got on his commercial airplane. He sat in the first class section. He was getting all comfortable, picked up a magazine to read. And of all the people in the world to come on that plane and sit next to President Clinton, but Reverend Jerry Falwell. Lord have mercy, that they were sitting side by side. Stewardess came up, had a tray of mixed drinks, stood in front of President Clinton because he reached up and grabbed him a drink. And she moved over and stood in front of Reverend Falwell. Reverend Falwell sat up in that chair and said, man, let me tell you one thing. Said, I'd rather be savagely attacked by a wild woman than have alcohol touch these lips. President Clinton put the drink back. Said, remember, I didn't know we had a choice. I'll have what he's had. He didn't help us a bit. I'm going to tell you all something else. Preachers don't help us a whole lot with this either. Every time you pick up the paper, you read something else a preacher did. I was standing at First Baptist Church in Reynolds one day. I was handing out my little advertisement, little fans and stuff on the front porch out there. And the 2 preachers were standing inside. I could hear every word they were saying. Didn't know them both of them all my life. I didn't know I could hear them, but I could hear every word they were saying. One of them said to the other, I can tell you right now, I didn't sleep with my wife before I got married. Did you? The other one said, I don't know. What was her maiden name? They didn't help us a bit. We used to have this little restaurant in Reynolds called the Dealer Burger. And it's one of these one waitress diners. Mrs. Helen Wallace is back there. She's from Reynolds. I guarantee she knows about the Dealer Burger. It's not open now, but it was then. And the girl that worked there told me this story. It was late lunch one day, about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and this middle-aged couple came in, and she said she was impressed at what she was seeing. I mean, he opened the door for her. They walked in the restaurant. He pulled the chair out for her. They had this great conversation going at 2:15 in the afternoon. They were looking at each other in the eye. She said she couldn't hardly work for watching them. She was thinking, most people that age that's been together that long, this day and time, don't even hardly speak to one another at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And she said she was impressed. And she said that just after a few minutes went by, she looked up and she noticed that man started sliding down in his chair. And in just a few seconds went by, that man had slid under the table. And the woman kept right on eating like nothing was going on. And the waitress finally walked over and said, ma'am, I am not trying to tend to your business. And I can see you're enjoying your meal, and I'm glad you are, but I couldn't help but notice your husband has slid under the table. She says, no, you don't understand. My husband just walked in the front door. So that's kind of where we live in, right? You laugh, but you know I'm telling you the truth, right?